Howdy ho, boys and girls. It's your old pal Van, and I am coming to you from the island of Colón in the province of Bocas del Toro in beautiful Panama. Let's see what's going on today, shall we? So, I'm not going to try and sugarcoat anything here. Things are not perfect on the island of Colón at this moment. There are certain shortages, gasoline, propane, but for the most part, if you're coming to visit, you won't find things impossible. There's no internet right now. There's no phone service, but hopefully that will all come back in a very short period of time. But at the very moment, there are none of those things. So there's no internet, which means there's no bank service. No bank service means none of the businesses are currently taking credit cards. If you have a reservation in town, some places have Starlink, some places don't, but generally they do a lot on paper, so you won't have to worry about your reservation getting lost in the sauce. Not being able to use a bank machine is a big deal because everyone is only taking cash. And I see on a daily basis that a lot of people are arriving without a substantial amount of cash to get through their vacation, even if it's just a weekend. Yes, things are relatively cheap here. There's no question about it. But you'd be astonished how quickly you can go through cash when you have a limited amount of cash. I actually experienced this very same thing. For the most part, all the businesses are still open. The people here are incredible. Like, they work very, very hard to support their main business opportunities, which is tourism. So even though there's a gas shortage, they take most of the money and most of their efforts go into supporting the tourist industry, meaning that the boats that go out to the different islands, that go to the different beaches, the taxis that go out to the different beaches, help you get around town. They put that priority first to make sure that they have the fuel to be able to do so. Grocery stores do have some limitations. Like I said, they don't accept credit cards right now, so you have to make sure before you come here you have cash. Some fresh vegetables, some fresh fruits are sort of a novelty at this point in time. They're very limited. You can find some on occasion when certain shipments come in. But you're not going to come here and starve. The grocery stores are fully stocked. The restaurants, for the most part, are all open. They may close early because they run out of propane for the day. But for the most part, you shouldn't run into any of these problems. If I could give any traveler any sort of advice, if you're coming here right now at this point in time, or you're planning on coming here in the near future, there are two different things that you really need to keep in mind. Now, if you're a backpacker, which most backpackers in the past would arrive in Panama City, they would go to the Albrook bus station, and then from the Albrook bus station, they would do the overnight till Almaty, and from Almaty, they'd take the $6 ferry and get to Bocas del Toro, which is very inexpensive, very cheap to do. It is not advised. In fact, I would go as far as to say, don't do it. Please don't do it. It's just, at least over the next few days, I wouldn't even consider the fact. There is an alternate way to get here that is very safe. You run into no problems. It only takes 1 hour or so. If you go from the Albrook Gelbert airport, which is the main airport into Panama City, take a cab over to no, I got that backwards. If you go from the Tokumen, which is the main airport that everyone comes into, and then take a cab over to the Albrook Gebhardt International Airport, they have relatively inexpensive flights from that airport to Bocas del Toro. Bocas del Toro is a very small island. From the airport, you can walk downtown, find your hotel room. It should be no issues. It takes about an hour of a flight. I flew one way just a little over a week ago, and it cost me $164. But like I said, make these arrangements ahead of time. You don't want to be messing around with trying to deal with uh, any kind of transportation and winging it. It's just not recommended. Um, and like I said, bus service, don't do it right now. Don't do it. I'll try and post every single day and let you know how things are going here, but right now it's just not a possibility. If you have lodging, and make sure you have lodging before you get here, you're not going to be able to wander the streets. You're not going to be able to access your internet or data by phone. Make sure you have a reservation before you get here and download the address at least. And if you can, download directions from the airport to your hotel. Make sure you have this like done well in advance. And not only, you shouldn't just get the address in English, because the addresses, I don't know, I'll go into it, are very strange. But whoever's hosting you, whether it's a hotel, whether it's an Airbnb, whether it's whatever, you should definitely get an explanation of the address in Spanish. You should have like a hard copy on your phone because you're not going to be able to access the internet. And you should definitely have that available to show to a taxi or a water taxi or whoever you need to show it to actually get to your hotel. From the airport, if you have baggage, a hotel or a taxi ride from the airport into downtown, as long as you know your address, is a couple bucks. I mean, it's no big deal. If you're just backpacking it, you can walk into downtown. When you get out of the airport, which is tiny, you can ask anybody which way to downtown. There's little signs. You can just walk down here in about 15 minutes. It's not a big deal. So that's about all I got for you today. I mean, I'm not going to show you like all the tourist sites that you've seen in every other video. Uh, Maybe I'll get to a little bit later, but I'm sure the biggest concern that everyone has right now is what's going on in Bocas del Toro. And as long as you prepare properly, don't be afraid. Like, it is so peaceful here. There is no problems here. It's just as beautiful as it always has been. The restaurants are just as tasty. The food, the population is just as kind. Everything is perfectly fine here on the island of Cologne. You should have no problems. Don't change plans as far as coming here. Don't be afraid. You're not going to run into any other problems. You might run into added expense as far as having to take a flight rather than take a cheap bus, but it's just the reality of the circumstance. I'm going to try and hit up every single day and give updates, but like I said, you got to search for internet, so I don't know how possible that's actually going to be. Be safe, travel well, and don't be afraid. The people here actually need your business. Just remember to bring cash. So please like and subscribe. Ring the bell for future updates. I'm going to try and let you guys know what's going on a daily basis. Leaders.